So what I'm making today is Mutton Rara, the very famous Punjabi dish which I'm sure most of us have had. So this is something I recently saw in another food group shared by this gentleman, and his photograph looked amazing. So I requested him for the recipe, which he very generously shared. So this is a little different from the regular rara, I believe, in the cuts of the meat used, but nonetheless I'm just doing it his style. So I'll just quickly run you all through the spices and whatever I'm doing here. I'm just about to start the cooking now. So here is lamb chops. So this is something new, which normally in mutton rara you have regular curry cut pieces, I believe, from the ran, but he has said that one needs to use lamb chops. So here we are. This is a kilo of lamb chops marinated with 500 grams of sour curd. And he had also asked for some salt to be added to this. I have omitted the salt, no salt in this. And this is the lamb mince, the keema, half a kilo. Then we have chopped onions. I have taken about 10 medium pieces, and tomatoes. Now this I have actually brought down the amount by almost half because I am not a very tomatoes kind of a person. Then we have ginger paste and garlic paste and red chili powder. Now this is my regular homemade garam masala powder, and also the recipe calls for some meat masala powder. Now that's something I just do not like to use, these packaged combination spices. However, I had got this a few days back because I had heard some very good reviews of this particular brand. Though this is shami kebab, I read up the ingredient list and it sounded pretty interesting. It read pretty interesting. So I think I'm just going to use this instead of the suggested meat masala. And these you can see is bay leaves, cumin, coriander, black cardamoms, small green cardamoms, cloves, cinnamon and mace. This is for the tempering. So I will start now. And again, since I'll be like holding the phone with one hand and cooking, so it has to be in bits and pieces. But I'll add the videos together so you guys have a seamless viewing experience. See you all back. Okay, so now the recipe called for the fat to be only ghee. So now approximately about 300 milliliters, 300 to 350 milli of ghee. So now that is a little too much, though cholesterol is now supposed to be a myth. But since I'm still on statins because my doctor will not have it any other way, so I just thought I'll do a mix of regular oil. So this is mustard oil and ghee. So in this, in goes all the masalas I had for tempering. My oil is hot, so in goes my masalas, and here Arun is helping me as usual because I'm shooting with one hand and cooking with the other. So de da chapkota hele da. So there. Now I'm reducing the flame and adding in the onions. Now the way I fry my onions is simple, no rocket science. I add the salt that I'm going to be using, the entire amount of salt that I will be using for a dish in this. When I fry the onions, I put the entire amount of the salt in this. So that generally helps, not generally, always helps the onions sweat. So they get cooked uniformly before they are fried. Otherwise, now why am I saying this? Because I have actually had a lot of people asking me this. So I'm just going into the nitty-gritties. So this is the way I do it. I will put the salt now and I will cover it and let it cook in very low flame for some time till all the onions, and this is quite a huge amount of onions as you can see, about 10 I had taken medium. So I will let it cook till they are all soft. Till they are all soft, and then I'll start the frying process in an oven. I'll take off the lid of the kadai and I'll start frying. So my onions are mixed with the ghee. Now I'm adding the salt. This is all the salt that will go into the dish. So this is obviously added according to taste. Start with little. In case you're not sure, you can always add more. Okay, so here we are. The flame is full as of now, and if you can see the onions, that's not all ghee, mind you, that's a lot of water also. The onions have already started to sweat there, and this is what I want. I want the onions to sweat profusely like they were doing cardio, and then I will not have the onions burnt, one edge of the onions burnt while the other one is raw. I hate that, and nobody in my family will touch food which has onions in the gravy which look and taste that way. So here we are done. The onions are already looking soft. I don't know if you can make out from the video. Done. Now I'm going to just cover it. That's all I'm covering it. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to reduce the flame there. So this is going to just be on for a while, say about 3 minutes, and then I'll come back and check again, and then if need be I'll cover it back if I see all the onions are not uniformly softened, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is after a good 3 to 4 minutes. I had just stirred it once in between after a minute and a half, and as you can see, this is oil, ghee and water mixed. So the onions are all uniformly cooked. They are soft. If you can make out, let me just zoom and show you. There, all translucent, but they are not fried yet. They've just been kind of steamed. So now I shall increase the flame to full, and now starts the process of frying the onions till they've reached the desired brown, lovely brown that is there in the recipe. Okay, so now I'm just spreading it out. Earlier it was all just in one place, huddled together. That actually helps when you are trying to cook and make something soft, but when you want the water to evaporate, when you want to fry something, you spread it out. So surface area increases, frying happens quicker, and I don't want it cooked anymore. It's fully cooked. I just want it to get color. So there, spreading it out, and I will be just frying this till it's sufficiently browned. Okay, so finally after almost 20 minutes of frying, the onions look like this. Just zoom here. Not very brown, but quite caramelized pink. Now I will be adding in quickly because it's only a matter of time. In minutes this is just going to get charred. So here goes in the garlic. That will be about 2 tablespoons. So that's also about a little more than 2 tablespoons. Wee bit more. We are on very low flame. I do not want the ginger to burn because then it's going to turn bitter, and burnt ginger is a very bad deal, let me tell you. Okay, so now in with the tomatoes, please. Thank you. Give it a good mix, and I'm going to just cover this up again so the tomatoes cook quickly. How lovely this looks. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to just cover it up again. There. And I'm back. The tomatoes have been getting cooked, come fried for the past 8 to 10 minutes. These are these horrible hybrid tomatoes and they take forever. So the original recipe actually says that one needs to cook the tomatoes in high flame. I did not do that. I had it at the lowest and I had it covered. So I think the next time if I'm cooking with these tomatoes, I'm not going to be using chopped tomatoes. I'll just make a puree and then use it. So now this is done, and Orun, please come and help me. Thank you. Now in goes the mince. Okay, so now the mince is in. So again it's just a thing of mixing, and I'll be cooking this for about 12 to 15 minutes. That's it. Give it a good mix and let it cook on low to medium, not covered, uncovered, for 12 to 15 minutes. I'll be back. There. That's the close-up. The texture of the tomatoes. Horrible, horrible tomatoes. And I'll be back. Okay, so after almost 20 minutes, this is what the mince looks like. It has been cooking on very low. This is the beauty of any good cooking, I'd say. If you want your dish to be tasty, let it have its time, pamper it. I'm not saying that quick fixes and all that doesn't turn out tasty. They do, but as far as I'm concerned, if I'm going to be putting in, if it's going to be a special meal, I'd rather make it special. So I've been actually cooking all day. I see. Like I started pretty early in the morning from getting this stuff from the market to now this. So I had actually thought we'll have it for lunch. Looks like we'll just have a very early dinner because it's well past 2 here. So anyway, we are done with this, and now in goes the lamb chops. Please, Arun, everything in. The marinated lamb chops. It's been marinated in curd, like I said, no salt, just curd. A kilo of lamb chops in half a kilo of sour curd. So this is done. Now I need to hold the kadai to be able to stir this. It becomes quite heavy. So basically what I'll be doing is side. So I really have to hold it with the other hand, can't do it with one. So anyway, basically I'll just be mixing all the spices with this, give it a good mix, and then this will again cook uncovered on low heat for say 35 minutes, 35 to 40, and then we'll come back again. Very difficult with one hand. Arun is telling me that he can help with the stirring, but I don't want to give it to him. I'm kind of possessive. I'll just increase the flame for a bit so that the masalas just get heated up fast. Okay, it's already started boiling there, you can see. I'm soon reducing it. Now I'll be reducing the flame and I'll be cooking this, not really cooking, I'll be stirring this every say 3 to 4 minutes, and this will be on for 35 to 40 minutes like I said. Okay, so now it's almost 40 minutes of this being cooked in very low flame, and as you can see, this is the oil on the sides. And now I'm just going to be adding the rest of the dry ground spices. Now two things I forgot to add actually tell. One is there was coriander powder, which I'm adding now. So I'll add about a tablespoon of coriander, a little more. And there was chili powder. Now my chili powder, this one is Mathania chilies. So we like our gravies hot. So there. This of course you can adjust according to your own preference. And the other thing that I will be adding is Kashmiri mirch powder. This is to give it the color. This is Kashmiri mirch. So there. And I'll be adding my Bengali garam masala powder. The recipe says garam masala. I don't have any other garam masala powder except this. This is my homemade garam masala powder. So this, as you can see, I have a tiny spoon. I'm sorry. And So that's about 1.5. And now I'll be adding this shan masala instead of the meat masala which is written in the recipe. So this is the shami kebab masala, and I tasted it. It's nice. I'm just hoping it turns out well. It should actually. No reason for it not to. Not going overboard. That's it. So we are done. Now I'm going to just give this a good stir, and I have some of that little bit of curd left in the bowl where I had marinated the lamb chops. So I'm going to just be adding about 300 milliliters of water, warm water, into that. And this is not cooked. The meat is not tender. So I'll be putting it in the pressure cooker now. ধরো কড়াই ধরো I really need to figure out something to do with this camera. Some kind of a tripod or something where I can just put it up. So that's my electric kettle that Arun just turned on because he suddenly remembered that the water has not been heated. Yeah, almost done. So I'll add the water and I'll be pressure cooking this. Like I was saying, the meat is not cooked at all. It's pretty tough. So the way I pressure cook meat here in India is frankly I don't understand the concept of number of whistles. So this is what Ma always taught me, and it works best. It is I let the first whistle go off in full flame, and then I reduce it to the minimum, and then I time the cooking. So 20 minutes for lamb and goat, and it's usually cooked to perfection. So we can see that's the close up. That's the color. I like it. Okay. This has been slow cooking for quite some time now, and the aroma wafting through the kitchen and through the entire apartment is just so amazing. This is the beauty of slow cooked food. Luckily, I have not had any neighbors knocking on my door yet. That also happens, let me tell you. Perhaps because it's a weekday. So what I just saw is I just poked the meat with a fork, and I just saw that it's kind of about 20% done. So maybe I'll not keep it for 20 minutes. I'll keep it for about 12 minutes or so. And then I'll do a check. If it's done, fine. Otherwise, it goes in for another 3 minutes. That's a total of 15 minutes. I think that should be enough. So it's going into the cooker now. There, on full flame. After the first whistle, I'll reduce it to 12 minutes, then I'll check. And we are done. It's cooked completely, soft, falling off the bones meat. There, very soft. And that's the gravy. Again, the original recipe says that one has to skim the ghee from the top. So frankly speaking, it will break my heart to do that. So, oops. Okay. That's Bangalore for you. Lights have gone. Now we just have to wait for the generator to come back on. I'm sorry about this. So anyway, like I was saying, it's going to break my heart to take off the ghee which is on top, so I'll just let it remain. Nothing else. This is done. I'll just take some photos now, and I think I'm going to rest a bit. This has been quite an ordeal. There. I've often had people thinking and speaking behind my back saying I edit my photos, add extra color and whatnot. Well, this is as it is. I haven't added any extra color. You could just, I guess, blame it all on my chili powder, which I always say that my regular chili powder is a mix of normal chili powder and Kashmiri mirch. So there you go. It's a very, very bright red, but no edits, no filters. That's just the way it is. Close up. There we are with the close up. Again, there are many ways to making this. There's a nice history also behind the origin, which I will write when I'm making the post. So in all probabilities, it was just something that the Punjabi dhaba walas came up with. So, and the tiny lore which is often associated with its origin is nothing but a myth, fiction, I guess. Nonetheless, that's it. And of course, there are various ways again to making this. Some add kasuri methi in the end, some other stuff, star anise. I just followed this particular gentleman's recipe to the T, almost to the T, except for the tomatoes and one or two things here or there. It's just exactly what he said. Now for the photos.